Watch this, Lise. You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now.
Hello, my fellow hunters, and yeah, 2025. It's a long wait, isn't it? Over a year. Likely quite a bit over a year, because it might even be the end of 2025. Oh, I don't even want to finish that sentence. Imagine it nearly being 2 years. Oh, okay. Oh, no, that's, oh, God, that even hurts to imagine. Let's all pretend it's going to be January 1st, 2025. But even so, that's a long wait. And it's a weird wait, isn't it? Because this is the 20th anniversary year 2024 of Monster Hunter. It's the Monster Hunter year. It's a big deal. The 10-year anniversaries are only eclipsed by the big 100-year one we're all going to share together in 80 years when we're all old hunters. And it's going to be amazing. But for now, every 10 years is super special. In March, we will have the day that Monster Hunter 1 first graced us, and then for the rest of the year we're not going to have any new Monster Hunter to play? Well, I say nay! Because I think that Wilds being revealed for 2025 makes something else that may happen all the more likely and all the more clear. Because there has been talk, there has been hope, there has been maybiness about an old Monster Hunter game getting a remaster or even a full-on remake and coming to the 20th anniversary year. And I have spoken on it myself, and ultimately it boils down to, yes, while that would be fun, Monster Hunter is a very kind of special, kind of unique case when it comes to a long-standing game series, in that every entry is worth playing, because while every entry has the core of Monster Hunter you love, that juice, it has a uniqueness to it, individual mechanics that never quite work the same or just didn't exist in other games. Weapons worked kind of how they did in that particular game or generation and never in any others. The monsters too, the environments, the villages, the general story, or in the older games, the order in which you killed the monsters. But the point remains is that every Monster Hunter still stands on its own two legs, except Monster Hunter 1 and chasing Sephiroth for 57 minutes. Though even then, that is a pain we should all learn and master, so I can't recommend it enough, fellow hunters. But the point is, if you want to experience an old Monster Hunter game, you just go play it in any way that you can, and you have that wonderful experience. You don't need it kind of redone, brought back, and we can get rid of the full remake now, I feel like. I don't think that's going to happen, not with Wilds release. I don't think we're going to get an old Monster Hunter game given this modern coat, brought up to Worlds standards, fully open maps, expanded, the same general game that we did have, like Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, but worldified. That's not it. And again, I don't think that makes sense, because then you just have world but worse, kinda, with a different village and a different map. You know, it's not enough. It doesn't justify its existence, because again, every Monster Hunter game is worth playing for all of the many unique things Monster Hunter does. And that's awesome for Monster Hunter. You have 5th, soon to be 6 generations of games to give you such cool adventures and hunts. So when we talk about remake or remaster, it's interesting. And while I think that a remake or a remaster, let's just go with remaster, because I think that is generally the better way to go, because with every Monster Hunter game being worthwhile, all that really matters is experiencing it. So at most, you take an old game, give it some more modern textures, tweak it a little bit so it just simply runs on modern hardware and systems and consoles, and then let everybody go and have a great time. then you're kind of done, right? But I also do think that you really can't have the 20th year of Monster Hunter without a Monster Hunter game. I also don't think that because Monster Hunter said that they look at themselves as a yearly series. They want something new every year. So how do you solve that conundrum? Do you have an old game re-released, remastered, or a new Monster Hunter spin-off game? And both of those are certainly viable, and both have their separate pros and cons. Let's look at remaster, which is certainly what I would lean towards. And it kind of just revolves around what I hinted at a couple minutes ago. Do you want to know what one of the coolest moments was in 2018 after World released? It was quite simply this. Yeah, the Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is coming to Switch for the West trailer. It had been out by this point for a year in Japan, initially on the 3DS, then later came to Switch, and we were over there hungering for this incredible new G-Rank game with its incredible new monsters and the Hunter Hearts and everything, and then it happened. Now, this wasn't really a remake or remaster or anything. This was kind of normal practice for Monster Hunter that's only now just changed with 5th gen onwards, where they would release the latest game in Japan, everyone in the West would be teased looking at it, really sad waiting, and then they would finally port it over to our side of our little planet, and we would get to play it about a year later. But imagine a trailer like this one, but it's for Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, it's for Monster Hunter Tri, it's for Monster Hunter DOS, hell, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
Stop! My penis can only get so erect.
And it ends with, boom, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, now playable on Switch, maybe even on PC, a Steam version you play with your controller, coming summer 2024. That would be all it needs, because remember, that works. Every Monster Hunter game is a viable experience that doesn't need remaking or redoing. It just needs to be playable. So if we get a modern Monster Hunter game version of an old one on a modern system, Switch, PC, console, so we don't have to emulate it, we don't have to use weird methods of playing it, we don't have to go through non-official channels, we can just boot up our Switch, I'll use Switch as the main example, apply it to whatever you play on, and then we can go buy Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, buy Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and just play it normally. That would be incredible. Yes, give the textures a bit of a crisp HD makeover. Yes, iron out some of the kinks, but largely the game doesn't need to be unchanged. It just needs to be official and easily playable in the ways that people are familiar with playing games, and you have this really cool anniversary moment where we get to re-experience a piece of Monster Hunter history during this year in a really nice way. You could even do like a pack. You could do Monster Hunter 1, 2, 3, 4, yada yada, all together as this little remaster box and go through them all. That might be a little bit optimistic, but hey, what have the Sunbreak team been doing since Sunbreak was finished? Ooh, likely making the second game in 6th gen that we'll see in like 2027, but maybe before then they've been tuning up some old ones to bring them up to par with modern hardware. Who knows? But I think that is something that would be phenomenal. The other option then is the spin-off, and for that, you kind of really only have Monster Hunter Stories 3. It did well enough that they were happy with it. They said they wanted to make more. It's certainly something likely in a pipeline somewhere. And it came out in 2021, so 3 years later, 2024. That's not a bad call. It's a good deal later. There's no other competing Monster Hunter. It might get more people into that series just because everyone wants more Monster Hunter. And that could be a real neat point to get some proper evolution resolution into stories that works really well and let it really shine for a good amount of time, like 6 months or so after Dragon's Dogma to take us into 2025, yeah, that certainly is something that I would enjoy. And because there was so much of stories to cut because of COVID and everything that happened, there is a lot they still clearly want to do because they kind of did it. They started doing it and had to stop doing it for unforeseen circumstances. So perhaps that's the way. You've also got, just a random new spin-off, a new entirety of Monster Hunter, a new category of game, a new something that we've got no way of predicting or knowing. Yeah, that's always an option. That's always exciting, to be fair. I love taking Monster Hunter and giving it a new genre spin or a perspective shift. And then you have what I think might be quite a wild card of the year, the only other new Monster Hunter game other than Wilds that we know is coming and is confirmed. And that is the Monster Hunter collab with Timi Studio Group, the people behind Pokemon Unite and various others quite goddamn popular series of games. Yes, this one is a little bit more, they don't exactly have the best reputation for very good reasons, but it is a confirmed collab game coming. Likely a phone game, so that perhaps is disappointing, but Monster Hunter now, for all of its flaws, does have solid Monster Hunter gameplay with really fun hunts. It's just a little bit too grindy and a little bit too use the shop, but it certainly was a good addition to Monster Hunter, I think. I got a lot of fun out of it, and so did a lot of other people, and it's still going strong. So having another different type of game for your phone Monster Hunterly could certainly be a thing, and hell, we might get all of the above, right? This might be the year of Monster Hunter games that aren't new entries into mainline Monster Hunter, a remaster of an old, a new game entirely on mobile, and Stories 3, let's go crazy. But no matter how or what it happens, I just can't shake the feeling that the 2025 timing, they're aware of that after the 20th anniversary, that they know is important, that they've said they want to do yearly releases. They surely, maybe, likely, wouldn't be surprised if there is something cooking that is something new and playable, let's just use the loose term of playable, in the world of Monster Hunter across this year. That, I think, is something that we can certainly, think about, and is not the least surprising thing that could happen in 2024 as we endure this long wait for 2025 and its release, or indeed the long wait until summer with a little bit more info on Wilds to come. So what do you guys think? Both on the likelihood of something playable Monster Hunter this year, or I guess still technically next year when you're watching this, but very close, and past that, what form do you want it to take, and what form do you think it's likely to take? Would love to know what you're thinking, but for now, like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more, consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.